tummy time. Something so simple can really screw up your day. Tummy time is hard for babies and for parents too. I remember when my baby was born and I was doing tummy time like I was supposed to, and he hated it and he was screaming at me, and I felt like he was saying in his little baby voice, "Get me off of here!" And I cried. It's emotional and it's hard work and it's hard to watch your little baby struggle, but it is so important for them to build those muscles, and I'm gonna give you some ways to make it a little bit easier for baby and for you. If you've ever cried personally during tummy time, raise a hand in solidarity in the comments. With a little tiny bean, your day looks something like this. Wake up, eat, poop, change diaper, change clothes, sleep, puke, poop, wake up, eat, sleep. When are you supposed to do tummy time in there? There are so many questions about when to do it, how often to do it. Do it too soon after they eat? Blech, vomit. Do it too soon before they're ready to go to sleep? And they hate you and they're only 3 weeks old. It's really hard to fit it in, I swear. I know. First of all, why is tummy time important? Why do we have to do this when we know our baby hates it? Well, your baby's first job in this world is to figure out how to move against gravity. Babies love to be in flexion. I'm gonna go get a baby to show you what I'm talking about. A baby doll, not a real baby. Okay, I got my baby. Here we go. So babies, when they're first born, they love to be in flexion. That's why they call it the fetal position. They love to be snuggled up in this nice flexed position. So their first job to move against gravity is to extend, because balance between flexion and extension then leads to being able to move side to side and rotate. So first step, get that giant head off of the ground. Extension through tummy time is so important that pediatricians and physical therapists, occupational therapists recommend that you start tummy time literally the day you come home with your new baby from the hospital. And a good goal to aim for is 15 to 20 minutes of tummy time a day. It's crazy. That doesn't mean you have to do 15 minutes straight. I think everyone would be crying at that point. You can break it up into chunks, but that is a goal that you're looking for, because again, all of the movement that comes after this is based on being able to move in extensions. If you delay and you don't practice tummy time often, and as soon as you're able to, then you will push back some of the other motor skills, because they need to have this first. I do not expect anyone to bring a 3-day-old baby home and get 20 minutes of solid good tummy time that first day. It's not gonna happen. It's a goal to work up towards. We will get there. The hardest part for me, even though I knew the importance of starting tummy time early, was just figuring out when to do it. He slept so much and he ate so much that I'd be like, oh, I have to do tummy time, but oh crap, he just ate, he's gonna throw up. Or, ah man, I have to do tummy time, but he's gonna fall asleep in 10 minutes. So it was hard. You think you have all this time, but it is a challenge to figure out exactly when is the best time to do it, so that you're giving your child the most opportunity for successful and not so cranky tummy time. So when do you do tummy time? Try to find a time when your baby is most alert and content. So like I said, newborns, it is really hard because they sleep so much and they eat so much that some babies can tolerate tummy time pretty soon after eating, but some can't. So you kind of have to, I'm not going to give you a magic formula to say this many minutes after tummy time or after eating you can do tummy time. For my son, it was like 20 minutes or so. He was able to do it without like spitting up everything that he just ate, but that's going to depend on your baby. So, however, as they get a little bit older and they're not waking up to feed so often, whenever they first wake up, it was like my favorite time, because they are like really intent and focused on you, and they're giving you those sleepy smiles. That is a wonderful point in their alertness level to play. And yeah, tummy time is work, but you can incorporate it into play which will make it easier for your baby and for you because you're looking at it from a different lens. We're not just doing work, we're playing. And for babies, after they've gotten out of that, like I sleep for 23 hours of the day and I eat 10 times a day, when they first wake up, their brains are able to learn really well. So compare that to when they're angry because they're hungry or they're really tired. That's not a time when you're gonna work on tummy time or really anything that is hard for them or a new skill. It's that good level of just right. I'm happy to be awake. It might only last a few minutes. That's okay. That's a good 3 minutes when you can be playing with and working on tummy times. The floor is the best place for your baby to practice tummy time. So get out a soft blanket, a quilt, or a play mat. That is often harder for you to kind of get into their eye space when they're first learning. So why I'm bringing that up now is because your baby's head is going to follow where their eyes are focused. And yeah, some babies are interested in like the cute little black and white books or toys, but many times they are mostly interested in looking at mom's face or dad's face, siblings' face, whatever. Faces get a lot of their attention, so use it. So if your baby is on their belly and they really are having a hard time picking their head up, so their head's gonna be over to the side. I'll turn her this way. If your head is right here, they're looking at you. If you move over here, their eyes are gonna follow you. And that's gonna be a great time for them to practice trying to pick their head up. It might not last very long, and they might go boink back down, but when babies are first learning, that's a terrible sound. When they're first getting some strength in this position, the first thing they're gonna do is lift their head up to clear it and turn it. So you using your face as something to focus on will help their eyes move, and at that point their head goes wherever their eyes go. So use your face, use it to their advantage. I found that one of the best times that my son tolerated tummy time was when he was laying on my chest, like this. If I was on the couch or sitting in a chair, like reclined in a chair, he tolerated tummy time a lot better. And yes, that does count as practice because he was picking his head up, but he had a great sight of my face that whole time. It was easier for him to see me when he's on my chest than me trying to get into his eye space when he was on the floor. So that is a great way to practice tummy time, and what a fun way to bond with them too. You're working, but you're also getting that back and forth. You're smiling, you're talking to him. So yeah, tummy time on your chest still counts as tummy time if you're laying down and they have to work on picking that big head up. You can prop baby up on their elbows or forearms when they're on their belly. So they can also, this gives them just a little bit of a prep or a little boost so that they can look up at you. That is such a big motivating factor. I keep going back to that because seeing your face and seeing how you're responding, talking in a soothing, calm voice and smiling at them and whatever you're gonna do to help to calm, even if it's for 1 minute, you get a good look at mom, she's singing to me, and then after a minute, baby realizes, oh yeah, I really don't like this, and now I'm gonna scream. But hey, you got a minute, so that's on your way to the goal of 15 to 20 minutes a day. Another way to prop baby up a little bit is, other than putting their arms under them, you can use things like boppy pillows, or you can roll up a blanket and stick it under their arms so they're kind of propped up that way. It just removes a tiny bit of the work and they're able to maybe hold their head up a little bit longer so they can watch you. And then as they get more comfortable there, you take that roll away or the boppy away. So you can use those, but through all of this, I'm gonna go back and say that the floor is the best place for your baby to work and to practice building strength. But sometimes there's room to wiggle with using some of these things just to make it a little bit more tolerable. So it's just kind of like a stepping stone. If you use something like a boppy pillow or a blanket roll, you need to be right there with your child. This should be just common sense, but we're not leaving baby on their stomach at all without supervision. But I'm gonna throw that, like nail that home with the boppy pillows and other soft things, because yes, it brings the baby up a little bit, but a soft surface also makes it like something that they can squish down into. So we really need to be aware of where their head is and how they're moving their head side to side, and if their airway is clear when they're on their belly. So regardless, do not leave your baby on their stomach unsupervised until they're able to really fully clear and roll out of that position. Not to say once they can roll, you don't supervise them anymore, but you get what I'm saying. Tummy time is very much a collaborative effort. You have to put the time in just like your baby does, because you need to be watching them and making sure that they are safe. Like every other thing that you do with your baby. I know that, you know that. Just a reminder. I know this is easier said than done, but try not to rescue, not to get the baby out of tummy time immediately when they start crying. Babies can't use their voice. They can't tell you, this is hard, I don't really like this, so they cry. So if we help baby get out of that position as soon as they start crying every single time, then we aren't reaching that point where they need to challenge their bodies and work just a little bit harder. If you think about exercising, if you're lifting weights or something, if you get to the point where you can't do any more reps, they say do one more. That's when you're making the changes in your muscles. So again, 15 to 20 minutes is a long time. It's so long. So working up to that, if you add even 15, 30 seconds each time you practice, you're challenging your baby just a tiny bit more. And then you can pick them up and you'll be the best person in the world, because now they can snuggle you and they're happy. And eventually you'll be like, hey, look at you, you can do this. This is so much easier because you're giving them that practice. Okay, wrap up. Break up your tummy time chunks throughout the day. Try to find times when your baby is alert and content. Start to look at, if you see, oh, morning times are the best time. Evenings, he's grumpy. Work towards challenging and extending the amount of time baby is on their belly each time you practice. If setting a timer helps you, great. Sometimes that made me a little bit more stressed out, just like watching the timer, like it's only been 10 seconds, come on. So that's up to you. If a timer would be helpful, set a timer. Then you have some real data, like we did it for 1 minute today. Tomorrow we're gonna do it for 1 minute and 30 seconds. So if that's something that would be helpful for you, by all means, you've got your phone right there anyways, taking pictures of your sweet baby. So put the timer on if you think that would help. Prop baby up on your chest. That was my favorite. That was fun for both of us. He loved to look at my face. It still counts as tummy time. You can use other things like propping up on their elbows, using a boppy cushion if they are safe to do that, a roll of a blanket or something underneath their elbows or armpits. So what I'm looking like, if this was the blanket roll, it would go kind of right under here. I feel like I talked way too fast in this video, so I apologize for that. So let me know in the comments what your goal is for tummy time. Are you gonna try something new as far as the time of day you're gonna do it? Are you gonna work for 30 more seconds tomorrow? What is your goal? What are you taking away from this video that you are gonna do tomorrow or today? What are you gonna do next when tummy time comes up? Hit subscribe, like this video if you like it, and hit the bell so you know when my videos come out. And thanks for joining me. I'm so happy that you're here, and I will see you guys next time.